Yeah, I can't think of another age that was so self-absorbed and so narcissistic. Not in the West. And I've said it before. Nothing illustrates our change from, some sense of duty to narcissism more than the change from the Queen, still working at 96, and Meghan Markle, wife of the Queen's grandson Prince Harry, still moaning at 41 about how tough she has it in her $30 million mansion. Yet this shtick of, oh, woe is me, look how glamorous I am, has made her a heroine to millions. But has Meghan Markle now finally gone too far? Maybe a false hope. She's given an interview for a New York magazine called The Cut, in which she poses in high-end fashion before settling down to say how hard life is for her. So hard, the journalist writes that. And I'm quoting directly here, this is bizarre. At one point in our conversation, instead of answering questions, she will suggest how I might transcribe the noises she is making, sounds apparently like, which Markle suggests should be described like this. She's making these guttural sounds, and I can't quite articulate what it is that she's feeling in the moment because she has no word for it. She's just moaning. Well, just moaning is right. That bit's true. Joining me from London is Brendan O'Neill, political editor of the online magazine Spike. Brendan, great to see you. Now, reading that, I thought, can you articulate what I was feeling using the crib notes that Meghan Markle gave to the journalist that she was talking to?
Well, Andrew, I think you might be moaning about the great moaner, Meghan Markle, and I understand perfectly well why you might be doing that. This is the most ridiculous celebrity profile I've ever read in my life, and I'm not being exaggerating there. It is so preposterous.
No, not at all.
It's hard to believe that they put this into print. And the moaning part of it, where she says, tell the readers about the guttural noises I'm making and the groaning and moaning, it really sums up the Meghan Markle phenomenon. She is a professional moaner. She now literally wants the whole world to hear her moaning sounds as she complains about her terrible life in her huge mansion in California and being a princess and so on. This is narcissism off the scale, where you're actually telling reporters to report your guttural noises that come out of your mouth and express how difficult your life is. I think it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard a celebrity say.
Well, it's obviously she's scripted it. She's seeing it as a movie script, I do this and you describe it as that. Your reactions have to be scripted. The journalist's reactions have to be scripted for her as well. That's incredible. But the interview is also started with the most astonishing, I think, lines or lies. I'm not quite sure what I mean here. I think maybe it's safer to say lines that make me think that Prince Harry has married someone close to mad. For a start, there's yet another attack on Harry's family, the royals, something that I believe is almost certainly false, explaining why Meghan Markle didn't let the palace distribute photographs of her son. She says, why would I give the very people who are calling my children the N-word a photo of my child before I can share it with the people that love my child? Now, people in the palace calling her son the N-word, is that even remotely likely, Brendan?
Absolutely not. And I think we have to call this out for what it is. She is stirring up trouble with stories that, I'm sorry, the vast majority of people just will not believe this. And she left the N-word part a little bit vague. I think she probably did that on purpose, just in case anyone investigates this completely nonsense claim. And it's not entirely clear if she's talking about giving her photos of her children to the royal family so that they can hand them out to the media, or if she's talking about the media itself. But whichever institution she's talking about, it simply is not true. No one will believe that anyone in the royal household referred to her child with the N-word. And I know for a fact that no one in the media has printed such a vile word about her children. So she's made this up. And this is a libel against the royal family or a libel against the media. She is defaming people as racists on a really precarious basis. And it's another example, I think, of Meghan playing the racism card in order to bolster her own sense of victimhood and to wound her enemies and her critics and her opponents. It is the most cynical use of the racism issue that I can remember for a very long time.
And then finally, just quickly, there was this about being approached by a member of the cast of The Lion King. She says, he looked at me and he's just like light. He says, I just need you to know, when you married into this family, the royal family, we rejoiced in the streets the same we did when Mandela was freed from prison. Brendan, what kind of narcissist would liken marrying in the royal family to Nelson Mandela walking free from the prison after 27 years and imagine people were literally dancing in the streets with joy? I mean, so surely even Prince Harry must think this obscene.
This is what I mean by the most preposterous thing I've read in a very long time. You know, the notion that going into a palace with all those comforts and all that wealth is in any way comparable to a man being freed from prison and bondage after 27 years is absolutely obscene. Again, I'm sorry, I don't like to cast aspersions on people, but I don't believe anyone said that to her. But even if they did, this is the thing. She obviously has held on to that as something that she believes to be true as well, that her marrying the royal family is akin to Mandela being released from prison. It is narcissistic. It is deranged. And I think you're right. Meghan Markle comes off as increasingly mad. And I think Harry needs to have a serious word with himself.
Look, him listening to that he must be going, whoa. Brendan O'Neill, thank you so much for your time.